Hello, everyone, and welcome to Main Street's Swim with Jim. It's Jim Ludwig from Main Street Financial Planning. And today we're excited to have with us Mark Maurer, the president of Low Load Insurance Services, otherwise known as LLIS these days. And they are an insurance broker headquartered in Tampa, Florida, that only deals with fee only advisors. And as you know, Main Street is a fee only advisor firm. Anyway, we have been sending our clientele to Low Load Insurance Services for over 15 years, and we've had very good reports over that time. But sometimes people ask us questions that we'd rather Low Load answer, and so we thought we'd get the president on the line today. Mark, how are you doing?
I'm great. So good to talk to you, Jim.
Well, thank you. And our listeners and viewers will be excited to hear your answers. So let's get to it. Can you explain the life insurance application process?
Sure. So when you apply to an insurance company, you are sort of presenting yourself to the insurance company, who is then going to decide whether to offer you insurance coverage. With life insurance, when you do that, there's a few things that you send to the insurance company that they're going to take a look at. The first is an application where you put some of your basic things. My name's Mark Walter Maurer. I was born this date. Do you use tobacco in any form? What's your height and weight? And the insurance company is going to use that as one piece of the puzzle to put together a potential offer. So they're going to look at all that information, what doctors I've seen. Most of the time, then there's a second piece. It's called a paramedic exam or a paramed exam. And clients have a nurse come out to their home, or they can go to a local facility. And the insurance company is going to request a blood panel and a urine panel. The examiner is also going to take your height and weight again. What I remember is I think my height is about 6'3". I don't think that's changed much, but when I say what weight am I probably remember my high school weight a little bit more than what I might be today. So the insurance company wants to verify some of those things. They're going to, in the urine specimen, are they going to look to see if there's nicotine? Whether I said yes or no on my application, it's going to be a little test there, sort of with the blood. What are cholesterol levels, things like that. So the insurance company has that piece too. So you have sort of what I said, and then you have the paramed exam, which is sort of a snapshot of what's going on in my body at this moment. Then the insurance company might also request medical records. So they might ask for primary care records. So we have what I say is going on right now and what's been in the past. I have my exam, which is a detailed indication of what's going on now. And so then the medical records are the backup or the history of what's happened in the past. And insurance companies, I'd say about half the time, order somebody's primary care records just to get a baseline, what's going on. I say anytime you see an ologist, a cardiologist, dermatologist, the insurance companies are going to order those records, because if you've been referred to a specialist for something, usually there's a reason. And so all of that is sort of going into the insurance company, and it's coming to an underwriter's desk. They're going to look at all those different things. They may ask follow-up questions about things that have been scheduled and not completed. But hopefully all of that is enough, and then the insurance company underwriter can take a look and say, all of Mark's things fall into our super preferred health category. And then they make that offer. So I've sent everything about me to the insurance company. They categorize me, which sounds kind of harsh, kind of like being, I guess, rated on a dating site or something. But take a look at all of my information and then make an offer. If everything falls in the best category, I might get a preferred plus offer. My cholesterol is a little higher than it should be, or higher than optimal. And so I might get an offer of a preferred rate. And so there's lots of different levels of what kind of offer an insurance company might make. All of that can take 2 to 3 months. I would say it can take 48 hours. It can take 2 to 3 months. Usually the biggest slowdown is that third piece, the doctor's office's records. They'll get a request from the insurance company, and it may be a week or 2 weeks before they send the forms into the insurance company to take a look at.
Does the insurance company actually pay the doctors for those medical reports?
Great question. Yes, they do. So all the doctor's offices are going to say our cost for sending, they usually have a fixed cost. Per page is 25 cents. Mark's record is 46 pages, so that's, my math isn't that fast.
46 times 0.25 on the calculator.
There we go. So a couple bucks, that's our cost. So then the insurance company pays that. They usually pay it first, and then the records are sent.
Well, that sounds like sometimes an extended length of time. What will help applicants obtain coverage quicker? Because nobody wants this hanging out for a long time.
Right, right. So where I talked about all of those three different things, an insurance company underwriter isn't really going to look at a case or a file or an application until all three of those things are there. So just because I sign the forms and send in the application, but it takes me 4 weeks to find a date when the exam might work, that's for the insurance company isn't looking at that application until that exam's there. So it may feel to me like I've been working on this for a month already, but to the insurance company, it really starts the day they have that paramed exam. So I think there's a few things that people can do to streamline a little bit. If there's a paramed exam required, try to do it as soon as possible. Again, nothing's really going to happen until that's done. Something I think that people forget about sometimes are doctors they've seen. If I forget to mention one of those ologists that I've seen in the last little bit, and the insurance company reads about it in my primary care records, they're going to request those records now. That may be 2 or 3 weeks into the process already, and now they're going after my dermatologist records, where had that been disclosed initially, the insurance company may have been able to order the records, the dermatologist records, at the same time as my primary care records. So it's sort of a domino effect there on things that can sort of delay, is that, well, we found this, we didn't know about it originally, it just tacks time on to the end.
Right. And where does the organization called the Medical Information Bureau fit into this puzzle?
Great question. So once you've submitted an application and some of those preliminary things, behind the scenes, the insurance companies are going to run a few, we call them big data checks. So one of the things they're going to do is run a prescription database check on anybody who's applying and see, is there anything significant that somebody's filled a prescription for recently that maybe was or wasn't admitted to on the application. They're going to order a motor vehicle record. Do I have any history of DUIs, multiple speeding tickets, things like that. And then the third is the MIB, or Medical Insurance Bureau. And what that is it's a shared group. All of the major insurance companies share very minimal information with each other, and it's designed to prevent fraud. And so what things, when they run the MIB check, they will look to see, they'll have notes about, was somebody declined for coverage in the past? Has somebody applied for insurance here recently? We had a client a few years ago who told us, no, I haven't applied for any insurance. Well, what really was happening was he wasn't admitting to a lot of things on the application, health-wise, but also as far as what he's applied for. I had an underwriter call me and say, when we ran the MIB report, it lit up like a Christmas tree. So he'd actually applied to lots of different insurance companies with, I think, the idea that hoping somebody might not find some health information that was found later on. So it's designed to prevent fraud in situations like that, where somebody may try to apply one place, get something that they don't like, and then try to apply somewhere else and decide to omit pertinent information.
I read an article recently that said insurance companies are checking your credit report. Is that true?
I haven't seen that very often. I do know that for things like auto insurance and homeowners insurance, your credit score is a big part of what I've read as far as rates. Life insurance, not very much. I think I'm always sort of surprised at how little financial underwriting can be required when somebody wants $2-3 million of term life insurance. You just sort of say, here's my income. And many times insurance companies say, that sounds good. I'm surprised, but then of course, larger face amounts, they're going to want to see some documentation too. But
what kind of mistakes do applicants make, and how can they avoid them?
I think the mistake that people make sometimes is one is how do you say, purposefully not disclosing information. That, people who smoke occasionally but say no on the application, it's going to be found out on the paramed exam when there's nicotine in their system. Or many times they've told their doctor at some point in the past, yeah, I have a couple cigarettes a week. It's no big deal. The doctor writes it down. So it's found there. So I think the mistake is that one, I think, is probably more intentional. The other is not necessarily having things all together like those doctor's records. It's not a purposeful mistake, but I think the thing that surprises and can really extend the length of time is forgetting that I saw a particular doctor and it's found in the records, and then the insurance company sort of has to start over with requesting a new set of medical records. But honesty is the best policy when it comes to any of that.
Okay. Well, and we don't want them to tell the Medical Information Bureau that we lied on an application either, would we? Right. Listen, as we wrap it up here, any final words of wisdom you have for our viewers and listeners?
I sort of jumped the gun with honesty is the best policy 15 seconds ago. I should have held on to that. But really, that's it. And, I think sometimes people think, well, maybe I won't say anything. It's better for us to know something, even if we don't think it's going to be a big deal, because then what we can do is talk to underwriters before we ever submit an application and say, I have a client, they've got this going on, I don't think it's a big deal, and get some underwriters to take a look at it ahead of time. Before we submit an application, a client never said anything because they didn't think it was a big deal, and it turns out to be something. So I think that from our standpoint, more information, let us talk to the insurance companies, let us try to find the best fit, because if we don't know about it, then we can't do anything about it.
Great. Well, Mark, we really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to answer our questions, to help our clients and our prospects get the life insurance they need in short order. And we look forward to having you help a lot of our clients for a long, long time. So thank you again, Mark Maurer. It's Low Load Insurance Services, but the short version is LLIS.com. They didn't pay for this interview. No free lunches, no free baseball tickets, just good service and having former underwriters interview people and being knowledgeable about all of the products that are available in the market to help our clients preserve and meet their financial needs. Mark, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim. It was fun.
And everybody, you have a great day. This is Jim Ludwig, founder of Main Street Financial Planning. Swim with Jim. We're trying to avoid those sharks out there. Everybody have a good day. Bye now.